Alright my friends, today we will explore a popular question in the Honkai Impact 3rd and Honkai Star Rail communities. Is Qiyana, the Harsher of Finality, truly at Emanator level, or is she capable of something far greater, perhaps even reaching Aeon level? As always, I would love to hear your opinion about it in the comments section below. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications bell to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Impact 3rd, and without any further ado, let's just get started. In Qiyana's dream, a memo keeper from the Garden of Recollection from Honkai Star Rail appeared and offered an interesting insight. Qiyana's willpower has generated a force wave equivalent to that of an emanator. This translation sparked a debate, with many fans concluding that Qiyana must therefore be emanator level. But how accurate is that conclusion? Is she really just emanator level, or could she be even more powerful? The answer is yes and no. Let me explain. To fully understand Qiyana's power, we first need to address why she must spend 10 years on the moon. After becoming the Harsher of Finality, arguably the most powerful being in Honkai Impact 3rd so far, aside from the Cocoon of Finality itself. I am saying arguably here because the latest chapter has been hinting on the possibility of an even stronger entity that we still don't know about that is even stronger than her. Either way, Qiyana must train and learn how to control her immense abilities. While she was embraced by the Cocoon of Finality and received the Harsher of Finality's power, she doesn't have immediate mastery over it. Her time on the moon is essential for this, serving as a period of deep training. Given that it takes 10 years to achieve complete control, we can roughly estimate that Qiyana progresses by about 10% each year, for the sake of simplicity. So as long as Qiyana remains on the moon, she is still not operating at her full potential. Now, when did the Memo Keeper have that conversation with Qiyana? This occurred early in part 2 of Honkai Impact 3rd, about 5 years after Qiyana first attained her powers as the Harsher of Finality. At that point, she had at most 50% mastery of her abilities and perhaps even less. Given that she spent a significant period in deep slumber, unable to train or further develop her control over the Harsher of Finality's power. What's important to note here is the timeline. There is a large gap between the moment when the Memo Keeper speaks to Qiyana and the events of Honkai Star Rail. We know that a post-Honkai Odyssey begins 8 years after the conclusion of Part 1 of Honkai Impact 3rd, and Honkai Star Rail takes place some unknown number of years after a post-Honkai Odyssey. This means that the conversation with the Memo Keeper occurred at least 9 years prior to the current Honkai Star Rail timeline. At least 9 years. If we fast forward 9 years into the future relative to Honkai Impact 3rd, we can make a critical assumption. Qiyana will have fully mastered her powers as the Harsher of Finality, having achieved complete control over it. At that point, Qiyana would undeniably surpass Emanator level, as she is already on par with them even at 50% of her power or less. With her abilities fully realized, she would easily outclass an Emanator. But would she reach Aeon level? As the harsher of finality, Kiana is tied to one of the most critical forces in the Honkai Impact universe, finality, which represents the end of all things. Her power could theoretically surpass conventional boundaries, as finality is a force of absolute conclusion. If Kiana fully masters her control over finality, she could theoretically have dominion over the very concept of endings, perhaps even at a multiversal level. This puts her in a position where she could challenge an Aeon, as Aeons embody similarly vast abstract forces. Aeons have a universal influence that reaches across entire systems and realms. They act on a scale far greater than any normal harsher we have seen. However, Kiana could become comparable if her dominion over finality expands. If she becomes a being capable of ending not just physical entities, but entire realities, timelines, or universes, which we have seen the Cocoon of Finality already do, her level of influence would be comparable to an Aeon. After all, finality represents the ultimate end. If Kiana's power allows her to dictate the end of not just life but entire worlds, she could rival the influence that Aeons exert. In conclusion, once Kiana has fully harnessed the power of the Harsher of Finality, it's likely that she will surpass the power of an Emanator, but reaching Aeon level remains speculative. While she would possess an incredible level of strength, matching an Aeon's level of existence is something else entirely. However, if there is anyone capable of making that leap, Kiana, armed with the complete might of finality, might just be that one. Let me know your opinions in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications bell beside it to stay notified with everything new about Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Impact 3rd. And until next time, see you as always in the next video.